Hey, what's going on? This is Super Simple Fixes, and today we're going to be replacing an extension cord receptacle with this new one. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, so there's going to be a couple of tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a pair of clippers, a Phillips screwdriver, and some wire strippers. All right, and what we're going to do, we're going to cut this piece off and replace it with this piece. This one's rated at about 15 amps, and although this cord doesn't actually say it, looks just about right. Usually they're about 14 amps, so we're going to go ahead and cut this off and strip these wires. Okay, before you start cutting anything, you need to make sure that you unplug this thing on the other end, and which I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this thing, and I'll kind of leave some of these wires out so I don't have to trim off the insulation. Alright, so I've got 3 wires. This is the hot wire, this is the neutral wire, the white one, and then the ground wire. So the ground wires are coming in a little short. I'm going to go ahead and strip this insulation a little bit and then strip the wires. Okay, here we go, stripping some of the insulation. Let's see. There we go. So we're just going to trim some of this down. Make sure you get more of that green ground wire sticking up. So you kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to cut down a little bit more so that I have more of this ground wire. And then I'm probably going to trim these 2 wires so that they're all about the same length. All right. Okay, so we have the insulation trimmed down. Now I'm going to just make these other 2 wires even. There you go. Now you have 3 wires of the same length. And then we'll start with the wire strippers. So this wire stripper, if you look at the largest hole right here, that's probably what we're going to start with. You don't want to strip too much off of it, then you start stripping off the actual copper in the wire. So this is just like a jacket. It's another insulation, you know, that covers these wires. So let's see here. Okay, so the big one's too big. We'll take a step down. There we go. So we've got this, the hot wire, and I'm just twisting it up so that it's not all frayed when I you know, try to put that new piece on there. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to these other 2, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have this new piece, and we have our wires stripped out, and they're all about the same length. If not enough, then I'll go ahead and pull more of this insulation off, but we'll leave it as it is. So right now, this is it has like a little restraining collar, so that it helps prevent it from getting the cord actually completely pulled out. So right now I'm just loosening this up, taking it off. Not quite there yet. There you go. So the restraining collar's off. And then we're going to take this off right here. And that's going to let us take this piece off. And you can see the little screws that that you're going to need to connect these wires to. Okay, so technically we didn't need to take this restraining piece completely off, but that's fine. I actually tucked it back on. The only reason why I took it off completely was just make sure that we can get this wire all the way through and pull it through like this. And so we've got that all set up. Make sure these wires are not all frayed, so you twist them. And then you got this green piece. This green screw is going to be for the green ground wire, and then the gold one is going to be for the hot wire, and the silver one is going to be for the neutral wire. So this one, this particular brand, if you look right here, you'll see that there's like two silver flat pieces right under the screw, right? So this green wire is gonna tuck right in between those two wires. See what I'm doing here? So the green ground wire is in between those two pieces, and you want to make sure that you're not having this actual green jacket in there too. So right now all I got to do is tighten this up. And that's the ground wire is done. So we're going to do the same thing for the other two wires, and I'll show you the finished product, right? Just remember, you're going to make sure that the wires fit in between the two little metal pieces right here, right under the screw. Okay, so now we have all three wires screwed in with the corresponding screws. So green for ground, gold for hot again, and white is for neutral, and they're all solid. So I'm going to take this piece here, and you got to line up, see the holes in this retaining piece here? I need to line it up with the screws here. So I think it's going to look sort of like this. And once you line it up, all you got to do is just screw these in, get one started, you get the others, and that should do it. So that would put this piece in with this piece, and then we'll do this piece next. So I'll get this piece in here and be right back. Okay, so I've got one started, and then I'm just going to finish this one. Alright, and then I've got one more. There we go. That makes it nice and tight. And I actually cut this just right, because you don't want to have those three wires coming out past this piece right here, the retaining clip. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this up.
You gotta do the clean workout, it's super fun.
And I'm going to tighten one side just a little bit, and then go back to the other side, tighten that up. You don't want to tighten one side way too much, because it's going to be uneven. A little bit more on this side. finish this up and then we'll test it out. Okay, so we've got this piece all settled in. Everything's wired in. All 3 screws are tight, and I've actually plugged in the extension cord, and then we're going to test out the fan. Now, see, this piece is already missing a ground wire, so we're probably going to have to fix that too, but we'll worry about that for a different time. Anyway, so here we go. You can hear the fan running. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Otherwise, have yourself a great rest of the day.